boys and girls, let's go ahead and continue with Junie B. Jones. Now, what had happened last time? Remember, she was upset with Ollie when we began, and they were going around the house searching for what? What were they looking for? His pacifier, his binky, his bobo, whatever you call it. But in here, they were looking for Ollie's pacifier. And she finally found it, didn't she? And then she had like this, bingo idea. And she knew exactly what she was going to be for the job fair. But we don't know. She told Mother, she told Daddy, but we don't know. So let's see if she'll tell us now, okay? Chapter 6, Tingling. I couldn't sleep for the whole weekend. That's because I had a tingling excitement in me about job day, and my brain wouldn't settle. And so on Monday, I zoomed to the bus stop very fast. "Look, Mr. Wu," I said to my bus driver. "Look what I'm wearing today." Then I opened my jacket and I showed him my job clothes. "See? It's nice pants and dangling keys and a paintbrush," I said. "Except for I can't tell you what I am, 'cause it's my special secret." Then I plopped down on my seat and Mr. Wu drove me to the next corner. That's where my bestest friend Grace got on. She was wearing Mickey Mouse ears and a dress with red and white polka dotties on it. "Grace," I said, very smiley, "you look very beautiful in that dotty thing." "I know it," she said. "That's because I changed my mind about who I'm going to be when I grow up. Now I'm going to be Minnie instead of Mickey." Then I stopped smiling, and my stomach felt very sickish inside, 'cause that meant Minnie Mouse was fake too. "Disneyland is a fib," I said. After that, the bus stopped again, and William got on. He was wearing a Superman outfit, except he had a W on the front of him, and not the letter S. "The W stands for William," he said to Mr. Wu. "Does that mean you can fly?" asked Mr. Wu. Then William grinned very big, and he held out his arms and he jumped way high in the air. Except for he didn't fly, and he just sat down. After that, other kids got on the bus too. And here we go. We got a big picture here. And they're all on their bus. And Roger had keys just like me and also plastic handcuffs. And Charlotte was wearing a red paint apron with some watercolors in her pocket. And that mean Jim was wearing a white bathrobe. "Hey, I've got a bathrobe just like that, Jim," I said, very friendly. "It's not a bathrobe, dummy," he said. "I'm a kung fu karate guy." "Jim is a kung fu karate guy," I said to Grace, "except for he just got out of the bathtub." Then me and her laughed and laughed, because that was a funny joke, of course. And job day was going to be the funnest day in the whole world. Yikes, that's a quick one. Shall we read another one? All right, let's keep going. Chapter 7, Jobs and Jobs. When I got off the bus, I zoomed to room 9, and that's because I wanted job day to start very quick. Only first we had to take attendance, and then we had to say, "I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands." Except I don't know what that dumb story is even talking about. Then finally, Mrs. clapped her hands loud together. And guess what? Job day started, that's what. "Boys and girls, you all look wonderful in your outfits," Mrs. said. "I can't wait to learn what all of you want to be when you grow up. Who would like to go first?" I would, I yelled out. Only then my bestest friend Lucille raised her hand very polite, and so she got to go first. Lucille looked the most beautifulest I've ever seen her. She was wearing a new dress that Nana bought for her, and it was the color of pink velvet. Also, she had on shiny pink shoes and socks with bows and lace on them. Lucille's Nana is loaded, I think. Lucille went to the front of the room. She reached into a little bag and pulled out a sparkling crown with jewels on it. I almost wish we could see the color pictures. Best to use our imagination. Then all of room 9 said, "Ooh," except for not the boys. "When I grow up, I'm going to marry a prince," she said, "and I'll be a princess, and my name will be Princess Lucille." And then she put the sparkling crown on her head, and she looked like a fairy tale guy. Mrs. smiled. "That's a lovely thought, Lucille," she said. "I know," said Lucille. "My Nana says if you marry a prince, you're set for life." After that, Lucille said her dress costed $85, and her shoes costed $45, and her lacy socks costed $6.50 plus tax. Then Mrs. told Lucille to sit down. Ricardo went next. He was wearing a yellow hat. It was the kind of hat you bang on. "This is called a hard hat," he said. "You have to wear it when you're in the building, when you're building tall buildings, or else somebody might drop a hammer from way up high, and it could hit you on your head and kill you." Mrs. smiled. "So you're interested in construction, right, Ricardo?" she said. But Ricardo just kept on talking about other stuff that could fall on your head and kill you, like a paint can, and an electric drill, and a lunchbox. And then Mrs. said, "Sit down," to him, too. That's when William raised his hand, only he was being very bashful, and he wouldn't go to the front of the room. "You don't have to be nervous, William," said Mrs. "Just tell us what you want to be when you grow up." William covered his face with his hands. "Super William," he said, very quiet. And then he got out of his seat and he jumped way high in the air, only his cape got tangled in his chair and he crashed into the table. After that, Super William got sniffling, and Mrs. said we would get back to him later. Then lots of other kids talked about their jobs, like a boy named Clifton is going to be a rich and famous astronaut. And a girl named Lily is going to be a rich and famous movie star. Also, she wants to direct. And a boy named Ham is going to be a rich and famous boss of a big company. And he taught us how to say the word, "You're fired." And here's the bestest one of all, because a boy named Jamal Hall is going to be the rich and famous president of the whole United States. "Cool," said Ricardo. Then the other boys said, "Cool," too. I did a secret smile. Yeah, only not as cool as my job, I thought to myself. Then I raised my hand very polite, and Mrs. called my name. "Oh boy," I shouted, oh boy, 'cause mine is even better than President of the United States." I zoomed, speedy quick, to the front of the room. Then my excitement wouldn't stay inside of me anymore. "A janitor! I'm going to be a janitor," I hollered out. After that, I jingled my keys and I waved my paintbrush in the air and I clapped and clapped. Only too bad for me, 'cause nobody clapped back. And here's another something even worser. Room 9 started laughing very much, and it was the mean kind. "She wants to be a janitor," they yelled. Then they pointed at my brown pants, and they called me the name of stupid. And I didn't know what to do because I felt very crumbling inside. Oh, poor Junie B. And so I just kept on standing there and standing there. And my eyes got a little bit of wet in them. And my nose started running very much. That's how come I covered my face up. "They're not having courtesy for me," I said real soft. Only just then Mrs. clapped her angry hands together and she scolded room 9 a real lot. "Junie B is right," she said. "Being a janitor is a very important job, and you have to be hardworking and reliable and very, very trustworthy." I peeked through my fingers. Yeah, only don't forget the part where you save people from danger, I said. Then that Jim I hate laughed right out loud. Ha! Janitors don't save people from danger, you goony bird, he said. I stamped my foot at him. Yes, they do. They do too, because one time I was eating a dangerous lifesaver and Janitor made me spit it out. And also he brought me a flashlight to room 9 and he saved William from the dangerous dental floss. Then I held up my jingling keys. And see these? Keys are what janitors use to unlock the bathroom door, or else we couldn't even get to the toilet. Then I showed him my paintbrush. And janitors paint litter cans too, I said. And painting is the funnest thing I love. Then Jim did a mean smile. Yeah, well, too bad for you, but you're a girl. And janitors have to be boys, so there. I run to his table. Oh, no, they do not, you stupid head, Jim, I said. Girls can be anything boys can be, right, Mrs.? Right? 'Cause I saw on Sesame Street and also on Oprah. Mrs. did a smile. Then my bestest friend Grace started to clap. And guess what? All of the other girls in room 9 clapped too. Okay, we're gonna leave it there. We got chapter 8 next.